Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Palacial Home live blog. Here, we're going to spend some quality time together learning how to make our homes beautiful, elegant, and we're going to do it through do-it-yourself projects that are not only things that you can take pride in, but are fulfilling and affordable. I'm your host, Stephanie Engebritsen, and today we're going to take a look at making a gilded faux French wall panel. You know, I personally love the gilded French panel systems in the palaces around the world that you can see in magazines and drool over. It's something I always wanted to have in my own home, but alas, I couldn't afford them because they were just too expensive. So I began to look for ways that I could reproduce them in an affordable manner. In my research, I found that they were repetitive patterns, and they brought, it brought to my mind ornate picture frames. If I could find enough of the same style and could find them inexpensively enough, I could use them for the panel frames. However, you know, that's just not really a feasible plan because it would take too long and too much of a hard search to find and purchase at the right price, I might add, the perfect frames to accomplish using this method. However, I wasn't going to toss that plan out the window. I would have to save it for a smaller area than the one that I'd planned to panel. So the first thing I needed to do then was select the wall I wanted to panel, right? Then measure it, see how many panels I needed, and that would dictate the number of frames I need to panel the wall. Now, in my search, I looked at paneling systems that you can purchase at architectural establishments. I also looked at Home Depot and Lowe's and other firms. All of them too expensive. And so once again, I was actually facing the dilemma of looking for a way to do this where there wasn't any way to do it. You know, I mean, I don't have enough money to go out there and just blow on one of these wonderful systems. So it took a lot of thought and a lot of perseverance. At any rate, in looking at pictures of wall paneling systems, I noticed that the frame actually looked like decorative molding. So I began looking in that direction, and I found some beautiful moldings that were really more affordable and seemed to be the way to go. Then, having chosen a pattern, that I needed something to put inside of it. You know, I'm going to make these beautiful rectangles that are large, and I needed something to put inside as the focal point. So here's where we can really get creative on a shoestring budget. You can use wallpapers, even using gift wrap that's outstanding in pattern and color, fabrics, tapestries, and if you want a more embossed look, you can do what I did. I turned to Sirocco pieces. They are easily found on Etsy, eBay, Amazon at very reasonable prices, and you can find them on other sites too. I chose artificial greenery sprays that lay flat, as if espalier. But note this, that in the preparation of the greenery, what you're going to have to do, since when you buy these pieces, they're all the same. If you lay them out, you'll see that they're all the same. So what you need to do is take out the excess branches, the excess leaves and stuff that make it stick out too far from the wall, because that's going to cause you a problem later on. So you just snip those out with your wire cutters. And then where there's some tiny leaves that clump, thin them out because you want them to lay flat. You may have to glue some of them together, you know, as you're putting it on the wall so that they overlap and lay right. But that's okay, but you can glue that ahead of time. But make all your pieces uniform, okay? And they should lay flat, completely flat, without trying to pull away from the wall due to an overabundance of branches and leaves. Now, if it has too many, it's going to detract from that pattern as well. Additional searching produced furniture appliques that fill in around my focal point, the Sirocco piece. Now, all I had to do was assemble my finds. Okay, so now we have to gild all the materials. A spray can of metallic gold paint priced at under $5 was absolutely perfect. Now be sure to spray the greenery on both sides and any other pieces that might not lay totally flat when first applied. Making sure that the wall I was using was the correct background color, white, Navajo white, or cream color in my case, or any chosen pastel if that's what you want, I was ready to begin the application of the panel system. The molding, which is now gold, is cut into the proper lengths to construct the rectangle frames that's going to house that pattern within the framework. So you do all the cutting ahead of time so that once that you get the construction started, you aren't having to stop and remeasure and cut along the way. And remember to miter the cut corners because you're making a rectangle. Now, you make your measurements, then rule off the top and bottom of where your panel is going to be once applied to the wall, and make sure those measurements, all those measurements are done first, and add the lines first so that you know where you're going to place it. Now, using liquid nails, apply the frame top and bottom, then add the two end pieces. Your wall should now sport a series of gold frames spaced evenly across the expanse. Let them dry. Next, we lay out the pattern for the focal point within the frame. Place the centerpiece an equal distance from the top and bottom and each side. Mark the wall where it's going to be on top and bottom, and do that in each frame. Using liquid nails, attach the centerpiece to the wall within the frame and let it dry. Using the furniture appliques and the gold greenery after measurements were made and the walls marked with the panels to make sure they would be uniform, apply them in the pattern that you've designed and complete all of the panels, once again using liquid nails. Now the end result is fabulous, folks, and you have the gilded French wall panel that you want without the major expense. Now I know that all of you thrifty types will find many more ways to achieve the look you want as you create go out and create all these things. And when you do, hey, share them with me, will you? Thank you for joining me, and cheerio.